Hello, everybody. I'll give it a few minutes. Let everybody log on as I usually do. We're going to have a really good talk today all about Susan Del Percio. She's a Republican think tank. She's a strategist for the party. However, she's on the clear definition of the Rhino Republican. Anti-Trump historically has been. She does a lot of work with the Republican Party, but it's through the Lincoln Project, which is absolutely all about the sustainable cities. We're going to go into the CIA, FBI in clear, real as it is, not how she's portraying it. We're going to look at specifically 3 Texas Republicans right now: Ken Paxton, Kyle Biderman, and Alan West. Now, these 3 have stated several different terms of dividing a United States of America right through to actual Texas independence. They've had different terms, they've used different rationale, but the reality is this is absolutely about succession. Now, Susan has published, she has her website, again with the Lincoln Project, this really globalist narrative of the Republican Party. They've never supported Donald Trump. They adamantly oppose him, and they try to champion globalism. Now, not the socialism, they champion the globalism. But I'm telling everybody today, as someone who's done all the research, like many of you have, when you look at Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, it doesn't matter if you're socialist or globalist, that reset happens the same way. You can have large state government running it, keeping all the people down here at the base, or you can have global elites, rich, wealthy, multinationals up here with a smaller government. However, guess where all the people are? Right down here on the bottom. That is the globalist socialist reset coming from the left or right. In America's situation, it comes from the Rhino Republican for the globalism, and then you have your radical Democrats, Green New Deal, all of that on the socialist reset side. Either way, they're both doing the same thing. Now, Susan's saying it's seditious. In America, Seccession, she's printed 2 back-to-back articles on this, published it out. I would ask for a debate with her any day of the week, as I'm a global strategist too. I built a political party, for Americans that don't know, an independence party here in Alberta, registered, ran in the last election in 2019. I ran for premier, which is the equivalent of a state governor. Okay, so I think I know what I'm talking about, as I'm probably the first third-class citizen ever in Canada's history to do that. We have that constitutional monarchy. It really is a first-class citizen prerogative generally in terms of political parties. I'm definitely the first to do that. Now, when we look at Susan here, she's saying sedition. She's telling everybody that Ken Paxton, Kyle Biderman, and Alan West are all guilty of sedition. She even says unless Donald Trump orders a pardon for him, a pre-pardon right now, he is likely to be prosecuted by the FBI. We're going to look at that right now. Now, if you go on Twitter, you'll find I'm attached to all of those. I've been following many organizations, world internationals, for over 4 years straight. I've changed my Twitter. I dropped all the Trumpers. I got rid of that. I had, I believe, about 6,000 followers. But I had dropped all that to focus this last 6 months on not only American academia, the greatest minds in America, of your best universities, but I've done that worldwide. I've really got out in the best universities, top universities right across the world. Not every nation, but I'm getting there. I've done UK, I've gone through most of America, I've gone into Africa, into South America, I've gone very far in the EU. Now, when we look at FBI does have a police function, and yes, FBI can administer a justice on American citizens only. Now, CIA is where they get into the international scene, international law. They don't enforce anything, but they can bring it either to the International Criminal Court or they can bring it to the FBI if it overlaps some kind of American jurisdiction. While the FBI can't really do anything for me as I'm a Canadian citizen, she's throwing the threat of sedition out there against those three Texans. They're taking a step back. They're a little bit afraid. But today, this video is for all Americans, Albertans if they wish to, or Canadians. Get it shared out. Get it out to those congressmen, that general, that, all of it. All those Texans, so they're not afraid anymore. It isn't sedition. In international law, succession is absolutely legal. It's been legal since 1948. Regardless of the American Constitution, America by default decided to take over for the League of Nations. America was instrumental in creating the UN. And inside those international laws that the CIA is fully aware of, as it pertains to the International Court of Justice, that can overlap any nation of the world, okay? When we get into succession, it most certainly is legal. It's been legal regardless of the American Constitution. It is perfectly legal for a state to employ that, and they can go to the UNSC. Now, you could say right now that Southern Belle, Kelly Knight Craft, who was appointed by Donald J. Trump. She was ascended and passed through your House Congress on the federal level. They passed her through. She's a Republican, but it is absolutely her job to decide whether you can succeed or not. She's one of 5 in the world. And if you follow that path, the UN legal path, there's nothing that can be done against any senator, congressman at any state level, or even higher, even governor or legal counsel for such. Okay, so these 3 individuals are not going to be charged for sedition. That's old America, and that doesn't exist post 1948. A lot of people aren't familiar with this, but I promise you I can bring the best world academics to substantiate what I'm claiming. And the funny part here is, for those who don't know, Ruth Ginsburg, I talk about her all the time. She just passed away. Amy Coney Barrett, she took over as Supreme Court Justice, a nominated Republican by Donald J. Trump. But when we go back to Ruth, that woman lived her life. In all of her years as a Supreme Court Justice, and everything she did was taking the binding international rules, laws ratified from 1948 on, she brought that into your SCOTUS and into your legal system. It's been that way for decades. I have all of the precedent law that will go through this and back up and substantiate everything I'm saying. I've worked on this for 4 years to get the absolute legal path. There is no charging anyone for sedition on lawful succession, lawfully applying and having an administered referendum that can absolutely be done by the UNSC. I recommend all Texans or any other political state positions, from governor all the way down, if you're going to talk openly about succession, however you want to look at that, if you want to look at it of dividing a bunch of states out of the union or individually as a state in the union, there is absolutely one legal path where you cannot be tried in any court. And there is an international criminal court that is binding over the United States of America that absolutely will not allow any American to violate your human rights, whether you're a politician or not. Speaking out about succession, if you want to explore that and want to go through the real legal referendum for the people and you want to legislate that, contact Kelly Knight Craft and the rest of the UNSC. Thanks, everybody. I hope this video is informative. I hope it gets shared out and you guys learn a lot. Bye now.